Oh, okay, good. We're live. Well, is this working? Yes, because it's no picture Wednesday. If you were earlier know about the technology challenges that many people seem to be having on Facebook today. But welcome to Glue Wednesday. Hey, Christine. How you doing? Okay. Welcome to Glue Wednesday, and we've got less than 2 minutes to go for the broadcast to start. If you're live, but if you're watching on the retake, remember that Glue Wednesday was created because so many people consider Wednesday hump day, hump day, but I say that Wednesday is actually the middle of a traditional 7-day week, because not everybody's hey, Ernestine, not everybody's week starts on, everybody doesn't work a Monday to Friday shift. Some people work Thursday to Tuesday, so you never know. So instead of looking at Wednesday as hump day, I look at Wednesday as the day that keeps the traditional beginning and end of the week together. It's the glue that keeps the week together. So that's why I created Glue Wednesday. And the glue for me is GLUE. God's love undoes everything. Not that God's love will tear things apart, but that it will take things that are torn apart and bring them back together. And that's why even today, hey, what's up, Fer? That's why even today my topic, I don't know if the picture even came out, but my topic is July, July. Just understand that God loves you. And and that's what we have to recognize. Like say the pictures weren't coming up. Hey, what's up, Jesse? Wow, it's good to see some people on here, because I can't tell whether or not how many people on it unless you put a comment in there. But let's get started, okay? So again, if the announcement of today's session didn't show up, my topic today is July. July. Just understand that God loves you. And I'm going to just be sharing 2 poems and just kind of roll with that as I thought about how I want my message to go today. But I wanted to start with that, talking about just understand that God's love you. Because see, a lot of people want to be liked. A lot of people want to be liked, and I think that's fine. But because I think that being liked is the cherry on the cake to be in love. But the truth is, even when you look at those two combinations, I'm not talking about being liked by others and loved by others. I'm talking about being liked by yourself. Do you like you? See, liking yourself is the cherry on the cake, because no one ever says, I don't love me, or very few people do that. Do you know anybody that's come up to you and say, you know what, I don't love me? But haven't you heard somebody say, I don't like the way I look in this outfit? I don't like how I acted in that situation. I don't like what I did. I don't like where this is going for me. See, all of that, when we think about the power of words and words being so powerful, because words go into our spirit. So as we say things, they begin to manifest. And whether you think about this in terms of religious or inspirational, we all know that it's just like when we're using a positive affirmation, and we say it and mean it. All of those things, what we say goes into our spirit. So as you talk about what you don't like about how you looked or how you acted, think about that. You're telling yourself there's things that you don't like about you. So when you don't like yourself, it's actually not really possible to love yourself, as far as I'm concerned. And that's also part of my topic today, is recognizing that we don't have to agree. What we have to do is have an opinion and know where we stand on that opinion. And therefore, I don't have to get upset with someone who disagrees with me. I have to recognize and appreciate that they have another way of looking at things. And so do I. I'd say it depends on whether you're on the 6 side of the 9 or the 9 side of the 6. And what you can do is draw the number 6 or draw the number 9 and just stand on each side. And you'll see, depending on which side you're on, that number looks different. And so recognize that all of us have a different perspective. And it's okay to not agree. You see it going on in our political system as well. As much trash as they talk about one another, they go out for drinks when this thing is all over, and they call it lobbying, and to give it a nice name and make us accept the fact that that our representative is in there pushing for us, but they're friends. And I'm not mad at them. I think that they need to have that friendship. We want to call it networking out here. But they have to do those things to try to get the best outcome for their constituency. It's what politics is all about. But I'm not really here to talk about politics, but recognize that everything is a part of the game that's going on. What are you doing in your life? Let's take that back to recognizing that you have to like yourself. And then I'm going to close by even talking about how as important as it is to like yourself, in terms of transferring like to other people. Because what you'll see you probably can't see it. Yeah, I typed it in the description of today's, and I'll retype it. But it's JULY, just understand God loves you, and then in parentheses, everybody else is a bonus. See, I don't care if people don't like me. It's not important to me for me to be liked by other people. I want to be respected. One of the spots where, as calm and as an individual as I am, and most people tend to think I'm calm, but you want to see me lose it, disrespect me. I have a very low threshold for being disrespected, and I get pretty angry about it. Now, I'm not the type that jumps off and starts spewing off, cursing everybody out and throwing stuff, but when someone disrespects me, man, it hits me hard. And I don't, and then people want to forgive and forget. Yeah, I forgive and I forget, but the penalty still applies. When you disrespect me, I don't have a way coming back from that one. See, but that's my personal choice. If it's okay with you, continue to go with that, because everybody's definition of respect and disrespect is also different. So that's why, we live in a complicated world, y'all. And that's why we can't spend a lot of time beating one another up about right or wrong, when what we really are doing is looking at differences of opinions. And if you differ on your opinion so much, I'm not big on trying to convert people to my way of thinking, because if I know that if there's certain things that I won't budge on. And that's why I'm calm, because it's easy for me to just say, end the conversation, agree to disagree. Because if I know that I stand strong on a point that I'm making, that you cannot budge me from that, I'm not going to agree with you no matter what you say. Well, I have to believe that you feel as strongly about your point of view. And so since I'm not going to make you budge and you're not going to make me budge, why do we need to beat ourselves up trying to get one another to do something that we won't do, and finding ways to anger one another, or again, more importantly, to disrespect one another? So just learn to move on when people don't agree with you. It's okay. Hey, Diane. Hey, homie. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. What's up, Haas? I'm good. All right. And hey, TJ, welcome. Okay. So let me get into what I have prepared for you. The first poem I'm going to read is called I've Got a Message. And it's from my book, I Found Out I'm Dying, A Celebration of Life. And I like to make the point with that book as well is, you know what? In our world, we get caught up on the headlines. I found out I'm dying. And we forget to read subtitles in life, A Celebration of Life. This book is not about dying at all. It's about the fact that physically we're all dying from the day we're born. Get over it. One day you won't be here. So let's look at the subtitle. See, I found out that I'm okay with the fact that one day I won't be here. Why are you afraid of death when you have no control over that? So no matter how afraid of death you are, you're still going to die. So you'll spend time ducking from death, hiding from death, not living, and you're still going to end up dying. And we'll be at your funeral talking about how you lived life. Let me tell you something. When they talk about how I lived life at my funeral, or whatever we decide to do in terms of a celebration, they're going to talk about how I had a good time. I am enjoying my life. So I know I'm not going to be here one day. So I am spending my time making the most of every single moment that I am here, which is also why I stay calm. Okay, and again, even if you look at your business world, it's the fine print. Look at all the advertising. You hear the little what do they call it? It's the fine print, but like after they say an ad, then they say the disclaimers. You know, all of those things when you're signing a contract, when you're buying a house, when you're buying a car, it's all of the fine print that makes a difference rather than the headline. So this poem is called I've Got a Message. Oh, it's subtle enough not to offend the highly sensitive. And let me stop right there for a second. And as I go through, I want to tell you in advance, because we're not going to use a lot of time. If this were a full class, it would be wonderful. But what you're going to hear is, hey, Renee, what you're going to hear are all of the contrasts. And for instance, it's subtle enough not to offend the highly sensitive. So highly sensitive people, if the message is subtle, then they won't be offended. So I want you to hear that the contrast with each line, and because that becomes a part of the whole theme of the poem. So I've got a message. Oh, it's subtle enough not to offend the highly sensitive, soft enough not to come down too hard on the meek, strong enough to be a force, yet light enough for the uneducated, not ethnically insulting or sexually suggestive, neither chauvinistic nor feminist, generically worded to resist conformity, though fancy enough to be chic, religious but non-committal, low on MSG, has no pork, high on protein, no fat grams, has TBY, a ramp, braille instructions. Not so wide that thin people will slip through the cracks, or too narrow that a fat person won't fit in. Not so high and mighty that a short person can't reach it, or so low down that a tall person can't stoop to it. Oh, the message? I was just kidding. But isn't it amazing how hard it is to get the attention of the number of people we need to talk to, that we need to talk to one another about harmony? So again, if you look at all of the contrast, not too tall for a short person to reach, not too low for a tall person to stoop down. See, there are a lot of different people in your life. You can't please everybody. That's why I put up okay, I'll get to that. There are too many people and differences of opinions for you to satisfy everyone and to get, again, people to like you. So that's why you have to get people to respect you. You know what? I respect your opinion. I respect your stand on that, because you respect my opinion and you respect where I stand on that. So, like I say, people are a bonus. As long as God loves me, I'm okay. I don't need everybody to agree with me. And I don't just say that, and that, you know how some people will say, well, I don't care how people feel about me. Then they look around to see if anybody heard them, like they want to be defiant. No, when I say it, I don't have to whisper it. I really don't care. But the challenge is, can I say it in a tone? And if people who know me understand my line of thinking, they know that I'm not saying I don't care about people. What I'm saying is, I don't care if people don't like me, because I'm beating a dead horse, but I want to be respected. But I want you to understand that someone could still not like you and still respect you. Okay, they could not like you and still do something for you. You've got people who do volunteer work and they don't particularly care for the people who they do volunteer work for. But it's not so much that they don't care for the cause, and they don't care for everybody that's in there, but there's something about that cause. There's something about them volunteering, because what they do is they focus on the diamond in the rough, the needle in the haystack, the exception to the rule. We care about someone that's affected by something. We can't care about everybody that's affected by everything. And that's what I wrote in the description on this one, where it was a meme that I wrote the other day, and it says, when people show you who they are offering you a choice. Choose, decide, and live with it. You've got to make the realization now, while you're in a clear frame of mind, that you cannot help everyone and you can't help anyone who doesn't want your help. And so the reason I say you got to make that distinction while you're in a clear state of mind, don't get angry and then suddenly decide, I don't like these type of people, I don't like this cause. No, you know what, people who do that, I disagree with them. I don't have to not like them. I disagree with them, and so I won't support them on that. And someone who doesn't want my help, I'll back off. I can't help everybody. You know, Jesus said, throw the seeds. He didn't say aim them. That's one of my favorite sayings. And even in throwing the seeds, he guarantees, this is my faith, he guarantees that some will land on hard ground. Everything that you do will not be appreciated by the people that you're doing it for. So again, whether you're volunteering and you're volunteering and you're wanting instant feedback and you're even labeling someone, these people, you know, there's just a lot going on in our lives, y'all. That's why we got to forgive ourselves every now and then. By the way, just stop back and forgive yourself, because you're dealing with a lot. So I'll repost the poem, the link to it, but remember, it's called I've Got a Message, and it's just a reminder that there are so many people that you cannot please everybody. So what is your message? See, that's what you want to focus on. What is your message? And you are here to deliver that message. As a messenger, you're responsible for the delivery, not the results. And so as you deliver who you are, believe me, when I get on broadcasts like this, when I get on the stage, I can't concern myself with, oh man, I hope everybody, it's okay that I'm saying this. I have to say it for who I've been sent to reach. There's somebody that needs me to be authentic about being sporty. There are people like some of you who say, well, sporty, that's sporty, that's my sporty. You know, I have to stay that way. And I don't do it just to please you. I do it because it pleases me. And that's who I am. And I appreciate being that person in your life, because I'm working on making sure that you appreciate being the person in your life that you are, because I love you for who you are. I don't have friends that I don't love. You know, I actually don't. You know, and so there are people in my life who are still, you know, we're okay with one another, but you know, I make it clear where I stand. And I can't worry about being right or wrong, depending on the 9 side of the 6 or the 6 side of the 9. I know who I am. And so I'm not going to be phony to you about where our friendship is and what types of limits or extensions they have, because that to me is unfair to you. To not be who I am is unfair to you. So you be who you are with me, and I'll be who I am with you. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So again, you see, it's not about being liked, it's about being respected. So this last poem that I'm going to read is actually from my book. The book is called Your Name Came to Mind. And it's so cool because what happened was, when I wrote my first book, I Found Out I'm Dying, A Celebration of Life. And that's the title poem, I Found Out I'm Dying. So my sequel was going to be I Found Out I'm Living, an affirmation of life. See, a celebration, I found out I'm dying, a celebration, it talks about the physical death. But I found out I'm living, an affirmation of life, it talks about the spiritual growth. Once I know that my physical self is not going to be here anymore, I celebrate by rejoicing and building my spiritual self. And that's an affirmation of the fact that I'm enjoying my life. Well, what happened was, my first book was self-published. My second one, I actually had a publisher, yet the publisher had a book with a similar title as mine already. And so they asked me not to use it so it wouldn't get confused. And so I switched my title to Your Name Came to Mind, because as you talk about living, you know, it's the moments that we share when we think about one another. Hasn't everybody heard that saying, you know, when somebody says, oh, I was just thinking about you, or just talking about you, and then they say, well, that means I'm going to live a long time. Okay, so your name comes to mind. You're on someone's mind right now, and you're making a difference in their life. So continue to think about how important you are. And again, when we link that back to making sure that we like ourselves and respect who we are, and it's the difference that we're making in somebody else's life. And you don't even get to count every life that you make a difference in, but you need to know that you do make a difference. But this poem I wrote actually through the eyes of a group of kids that I was doing and talking to at a DHS program, the Department of Health and Family Services. And these were kids who were, you know, they were in juvenile facilities, and this was about them having to come to the program in a life skills class to look for getting a job and this and that. And I found them to be so positive. I really had a ball with them. In fact, gosh, let me just read the intro to the poem. It says, this poem was written through the eyes of alternative high school students. Following that, oh, okay. What's it? Okay. Oh, okay. I actually didn't need to read that. Alternative high school students, though. Alternative high schools were high schools for students who still want to get, that's where they get their GED. They still want to get the high school education, but they were deemed that they can't learn in the regular environment of a high school. Because they and now of course we've got things to show, everybody learns differently. So but they didn't fit into the regular curriculum of a high school, but they still were interested in getting an education. Or maybe they got kicked out for disciplinary reasons, who knows? I actually never asked them. I just also always had a great time. Some of them were wards of the state. There's a lot of different things, but I wrote this poem through their eyes, and it talks about how not everybody wants them to be successful, and they understand that. And I want you to hear that that's the same situation that you're dealing with. So this is called Needless to Say. Needless to say, I need people in my life. That's why I put myself in positions, places, and situations that allow me to meet that need. Yeah, I know about being unique. I'm in touch with my gift. Somebody loves me. In fact, I do. Yet when I look in the mirror, the background I see is not the opulence I saw in that dream a few nights ago. My surroundings say made in everywhere but my name. And not so suddenly, I realized that even my God chose not to be alone. I need people in my life. That's why I put myself in positions, places, and situations that allow me to meet that need. Oh, I know everybody's not going to like me, but I ask for respect. Somebody's going to push me down, pull me down, lock me up so I can't be around. All I ask for is respect. Because my life is precious. It ain't no joke. I'm nobody's fool, and I'm not a clown. I need people in my life. That's why I put myself in positions, places, and situations that allow me to meet that need. Because I see how many people need me. Some need me to see myself as less than a man. Some want me to be a woman on my back. So they tell lies on me, cheat me, help me focus on my past. No matter how I try to get ahead, they tell me I won't last. And all I ask for is respect. They try to rush me through the system. Then when I'm almost through, they pull me back. I start questioning, doubting, not believing in myself, and I want to scream, give me some slack. But I stay cool. I look inside myself and know that I'm here because I'm a survivor. And there's someone behind me who needs to know what I've lived and learned. I need all kinds of people in my life. That's why I put myself in key positions, high places, and the best situations I can think of to meet that need, because I respect myself. So I wrote that way back in the 90s, but as you can see, self-respect has always been a big thing for me. And I hope that you recognize that you gotta be sure that you respect yourself. More important than being liked is being respected. When you respect yourself, you help other people respect you because they understand how you see yourself. People do things to you that you allow them to do. And I'm not sorry. I was about to say that, but that's one of those cliches. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. If you're in a job that you don't like, you choose to be there. It's not about, well, hey, it's just a paycheck, blah, blah, blah. No, you can get another job. Maybe you've waited too long. Well, now I'm too old. Where else can I go? See, you've sat there and stewed in that job and allowed yourself to get more and more negative each day. And the reason you may not be able to get another job has nothing to do with your age. Is because you've transmitted a negative vibe to the current customers or people that you deal with in your job that won't allow them to refer you to a better position or another opportunity. See, especially if you're in a customer service or public service driven job, realize that everything you say, somebody is watching. You're being interviewed at all times. And a customer who you talk about how you don't like your current employer to, that makes them say, whoa, well, I won't bring them over to my company, because they'll do the same to a stranger while they're serving them at my company. See, you're always being interviewed. So when you put all of this together, that is also a part of the message, and is recognizing that we're always being interviewed. And so that's why you have to make sure that you respect yourself, so that other people respect you. If they like what you're doing at your company, they say, man, I want this person at my company. I want to work with this person. And again, they don't even think about whether or not they like you. Maybe when they came in, maybe their first impression of you, oh man, I don't like the way that person is dressed. Oh, they got tattoos. Oh, I don't like their hairstyle. See, maybe there was something they didn't like about you. But then when you turn that charm on them, and you help them and got them to say, you know what, yeah, they forget about all of those, that negative judgment that they had on you when they walked in the door. And like, man, I respect this person. I see why they have that thing going on. But in fact, what I tend to do when I see somebody's tattoo, I don't have tattoos. I tend to, what's the story behind your tattoo? 8 out of 10 tattoos have a story behind it. And so, instead of deciding, oh God, they've got all those tattoos, ask them what the tattoo is about. It's some kind of pride. It's in memory of a loved one. It's a tattoo about an issue that they support. Again, and if you're wearing the tattoos or whatever, I'm talking about when somebody is judging you, think about it. What do you really care about? You don't care whether or not they like you for that. You care about them respecting you. So July, just remember, just understand that God loves you. Everybody else is a bonus. And so it takes us to my closing acronym, and that's from my book, Affirmations. My closing acronym for July is Joy Unleashed Lifts You. Joy Unleashed lifts you. See, when you have joy, when you feel good about yourself, when you like and respect and love yourself, you have such a feeling of joy about yourself that it lifts you up, and it'll help lift other people up as well. Joy is, for me, is J-O-Y, is just one U, and you've seen on my site, that's my new t-shirt that's coming out. But you got to realize that I create the t-shirt for the bus ride that I'm going on, and then the extras that I create, I sell them online, and when they're gone, they're gone. So if you didn't order your t-shirt yet, go to the website and get yourself a Joy t-shirt. But Joy, J-O-Y, just one U. Even when someone says, oh God, and even they'll say, oh Sporty, only you would do that. Well, that means, and I always say, well, that means if I didn't do it, it wouldn't get done. So if there's something that only Sporty would do, I make sure I do it, because it's a part of the solution. I know that everything I do is a part of the solution. Every mistake I made is a part of the solution. Every good thing you do, every good thing I've done, it's a part of the solution. If you really believe in God, you'll recognize that the ups and downs are part of the guarantee, and they always work toward the good of God. So, I know I just touched on a lot of things, but, a lot of things get touched on and are touched by certain topics. So start with your topic, see how it branches out to different things, and find ways to enjoy your life. And realize that when you unleash the joy in yourself, you help a lot of people. And everybody needs your help. You need people in your life, but you need the people who respect you. And of course, we almost even need the haters, because they help us log out a path of where we need to go with them not on our backs. You can't pull all of that luggage. Again, recognize that people who don't want your help, there's nothing you can do for them. Until they want your help, you just keep being who you are, and then they'll signal and say, you know what, okay, now I'd like your help. But if they don't want your help, you got to let them go, y'all. We got all the cliches. We say it, you can't take it all with you, and then we try to. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. It's all the same. It's all the same. You know, you have to make sure that you understand finally that God loves you and everybody else is a bonus. So enjoy your bonus, people. I appreciate and enjoy you. Thank you for logging on to Glue Wednesday and sharing it. Share my website. Bring me in to speak. We got a lot of options, y'all. Because believe me, once I get on the stage and when I'm delivering this message, people are gonna say, "Who brought him in?" And then you're gonna say, "Oh, I brought him in." Oh man, I'm having a ball, y'all. I'm having a ball. So I hope this technology worked. I hope this message made it through. But more importantly, I hope that you're on right now and that it made it through to you. Somebody else just came on, so I guess it is working. Hey, Doreen. So I'd just like to thank everybody whose name I see: Doreen, William, Renee, TJ, Haas, Diane, Kevin, Jesse, Ernestine, Marcelo, and it's not going up again. I know there was one more person on there. Oh, come on, memory banks. Well, my thing won't go up. Let me see that other name. But I love you and appreciate you all for joining me on Glue Wednesday and every day after that. God bless you. Have a safe and savvy 4th of July holiday weekend. And remember that freedom is not free. And it's called Independence Day, but independence is a beautiful gift. And if you can find ways to share that gift with as many people as possible, make sure you do that. Stay safe. God bless you, and I'll see you next week on Glue Wednesday. Ciao.